A very good morning to everyone. I, student of DME Media School, welcome you all to the Vibrant India series, episode 66. I also welcome all our viewers who are watching us live on Facebook. Vibrant India series, VIS, is an initiative of DME Media School for celebrating 75 years of India's independence. As part of this series, we invite inspiring personalities for online talk, interview, and interaction with our students. The invited personalities for this series are from all walks of life and from all parts of the country. And today, our special guest is Dr. Bani Yadav. We welcome you, ma'am. I would like to take a moment and introduce Delhi Metropolitan Education to our viewers. Delhi Metropolitan Education, DME, is an A-grade premier educational institute affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, New Delhi, and approved by the Bar Council of India. The institute offers BBA, BA LLB, and BA programs. DME believes in imparting world-class education to its students while training them to develop and enhance their skills. This education and training enables them in taking up challenges of this industry and creating a space for themselves with the competence and vigor. DME Media School is one of the most promising media institutes in the country. It offers BA in journalism and mass communication. It is recognized as a school focused on the growth of its faculty and students through academic and co-curricular activities. Major flagship events and initiatives of the school include BG Varghese Lecture Series, Peer-to-Peer FTP, International Film Festival SIFI, International Conference ICANN, and Vritika Convention of Students. VIS Vibrant India series are newly added in the list is CCD, Check-in for Cognition with Team. It is our privilege to introduce to you the personality of episode 66 of the VIS. Dr. Bani Yadav. Dr. Bani Yadav is motorsports award-winning woman and car rallyist. Despite being exposed to racing early on, she set foot in the professional motorsporting circuit in 2013 and ended up being placed second in the women's category. Dr. Bani Yadav is India's fastest woman rally racer, the only Indian woman to win all major rally titles in the country in the women's category. Dr. Bani has been breaking and creating records since 2013 and is counted amongst the top rally drivers of the country today. Being the natural leader it is her dream to open a motorsport driving school in Haryana to further empower the women. She is the first Indian woman to be awarded with an international doctorate in motorsports management by the Commonwealth Vocational University of Tonga 2018. She has been a speaker for the United Nations Hirsche campaign in India. She is the only woman driver to have won the 2015 Indian Rally Championship IRC Asia Cup in the women's category. Dr. Bani was awarded Outstanding Woman in Motorsports by the Federation of Motorsports Clubs of India. At the age of 43, she started off with her racing career in 2013 and ended at second position in the event. Dr. Bani was the national autocross champion woman in 2018 and 19. She is the first woman from India to officially drive Formula 4 cars outside of India at Abu Dhabi Yas Marina Circuit. Dr. Bani has won some of the toughest rallies that are held in the country. Dr. Bani participates in women empowerment and endorses equal rights and gender equality. I now request the technical team to show some glimpses from her life. host you. I now request Dr. Susmita Bala, Head DME Media School, to welcome the guest.
Thank you, Pragati. Welcome, everybody, to episode 66 of Vibrant India series. We launched this digital program in 2021 on August 9 on the anniversary of Quit India movement. And we presented episode 50 of this program in 2022 on August 15 when India celebrated 76th Independence Day. Vibrant India series is an initiative of DME Media School, Delhi Metropolitan Education. It is an online series to get inspiration from distinguished personalities. This program has been conceptualized and created by Professor Ambrish Saxena. Vibrant India series is a tribute to all those people who have made supreme sacrifices for the independence of our motherland. This program is a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, a celebration on India completing 75 years of independence. Let us have a look at the eminent personalities who have graced the VIS during the last more than a year. 8 personalities from the Defense Forces have participated in VIS till date. These personalities belong to the Indian Army, Air Force, and BSF. These include Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, Lieutenant General Vinod Bhatia, Dr. P.K. Saxena, Professor R.K. Dargan, Captain Dhanveer Singh, Group Captain Ashok K. Churdia, and Mr. Virendra Kumar Gaur from BSF. The list is include a woman as well, Squadron Leader Prerna Chaturvedi. 9 personalities from the education sector comprising education planning, teaching and research have participated in VIS. In this media and journalism field, 7 personalities from the journalism, broadcasting and entertainment sectors have joined the VIS. From the social sector, 9 personalities, including 8 women, have participated in VIS. These include Dr. Monisha Bahel, Dr. Mridula Tandon, Dr. Mridula Seth, Ms. Tripti S. Singhal, Ms. Vibhala Kheda, Ms. Bhavarin Kandhari, Dr. Binu Walia, Ms. Meenakshi Gupta, and Padma Shri Jitendra Singh Shanti. 7 personalities belong to art, theatre, and literature participated in VIS. 2 personalities from the field of law and human rights have graced the VIS sessions, Professor Manoj Kumar Sinha and Ms. Jyotika Kalra. From police officers have participated in VIS. These include 3 former IPS officers, Mr. Amod Kant, Mr. Vibhuti Narayan Rai, Ms. Manjari Jaruhar, Mr. Rajendra Singh. 5 IAS officers have also graced the VIS, Mr. Ashok Pradhan, Mr. Vimal Julka, Mr. DJ Narayan, Dr. Sanjeev Chopra, and Professor Veena Sikri. 22 women participated in 65 episodes of VIS. I have already mentioned about 8 women working in health and social sector, 1 in the Air Force, 1 in human rights, 1 in theatre, 1 in education, 1 in journalism, 1 in diplomacy, and 1 in police. I also want to make a mention Ms. Indrani Singh, Ms. Pallavi Fauzdar, Ms. Saloni Sacheti, Ms. Sachi Soni, Ms. Vandana Mahajan, Amrita Chaudhary, and Meenakshi Pahuja. From the other field, Mr. S.P. Rawal, Mr. Augustine Valith, Sufi Sayyid Azmal Nizami, Mr. Balindu Sharma Dadiji, Mr. Satish Saxena, Mr. Ganesh Falke also participated in VIS. Today, in episode 66, we have with us an inspiring personality, Dr. Bani Yadav, national champion, kart rallyist, and motorsports award winner. Welcome, Bani ji, in episode 66 of Vibrant India series. Welcome you all. Thank you.
I now request Dr. Ambrish Saxena, Dean GME Media School and originator and ideator of VIS to take the program forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Pragati. Dr. Bani Yadav, as you would have understood by now, the kind of program that we have been having since the last almost, 1.5 years or more than that. And the whole objective was because in an educational institution, we need a lot of inspiration that should come to the students, to the young lot, so that they can also aspire to do something great in their life. So that was the basic idea behind. And we have always been trying to request people from different walks of life. So it's not confined to education and all. Those who have created a mark for themselves, and particularly women, we have been trying to reach out to distinguished women who have created history to talk to our students on this platform. So that's the basic thing about this program. Now, coming to the format of this program. The format is such wherein we request the guest, since you are the guest, who will request you to say something about your life, about your journey. For about 15-20 minutes, and that will be followed by a few questions which I will be putting up, to requesting you to elaborate whatever you would have told us in this session. And then the session will be open to all the teachers and the students who are there in this session, so that whatever query anybody has, so you can respond to that all. So I request you now to take it forward from here and tell us about your life and your journey.
Thank you, Dr. Ambrish. It's really a pleasure to be here and to be talking to all of you and to be addressing so many students. Like you said, I should be sharing my journey. So the journey has been a long, tedious one, which has been filled with lots of struggle, ups and downs. It's not easy to become a car racer or a rally driver in India, and especially with the mindset which our traditional society carries. They really do not encourage women to come out and take part in a sport which is purely a man's sport. Even till today, it is considered to be a man's sport. And to take part in it, it was a humongous task. It was a struggle. The idea which I started with, that I wanted to be a rally driver or a car racer, was at the age of 13 when I actually spoke to my father about it. But to become a rally driver, the journey took me about 30 years to actually start. And I started it at the age of 43. But reaching that point to be able to start that journey, there was a lot of, I would say, there were a lot of obstacles. Obstacles in the sense that when I wanted to become a rally driver, my father, for obvious reasons, he said that no, girls cannot do it. One, from the point of view that it is a very expensive sport. And definitely my father did not have that kind of money to send me abroad. So this is, I'm talking about 40 years back, when I first spoke to my father about it. And he told me, no, girls really don't do it in India. There is nothing called motorsports in India. And you can, whatever you want to see or read about it, you can do that. But that spark lay inside me. And I told him, I challenged him at that age, that one day I will be a racer and I will be a better driver than you. Incidentally, my father, who is now 80 plus, still drives, and he's still a very good driver. And he's been my icon, idol, from whom I've learned driving. I used to observe him and then pick it up. And that's how I actually learned and trained myself. And when I had challenged him this, he said, yeah, we'll see. So for him, it was a 13-year-old girl who was reading out her whims and fancies and telling him, this is what I want to do. And he actually thought that it was daydreaming. I got married very early, and the family I got married to are a very orthodox family. And there they really do not promote women to go out and work or do any other kind of sports activity, specifically nothing related to cars. And to break that mold was a very, very challenging task. And here I must hand it over that my husband was a strong pillar for me. And without his support, I could not have entered motorsports. But having said that, the spark was there. And I kept telling myself that one day I will become a rally driver. A family which does not even allow you to read books or go out to the market. And a woman is supposed to just be taking care of the family and the children and basically being a homemaker. I was already working. I had started working. I was also taking care of the family, the extended family, which mostly all the ladies do. And there I still kept telling myself that I will one day be a rally driver. So one day there was a rally which was happening, and my husband, who knew from the beginning that I wanted to be a rally driver, he told me one day that there is this event happening in Jaipur. Would you want to give it a try? So I said, who will take the permissions? You know, the permissions is the biggest thing, to take it from my in-laws. So he said, that's my task, leave it to me. And that's where my journey actually started. And from there was no looking back. I went there, I did my first race, and I came a second there. And that's where I would say the bug really bit me. There was no looking back for me from there. And I kept taking part in various races and rallies. But the journey in the rally circuit in itself was very, very arduous, for the simple reason that the male competitors did not really appreciate the fact that a woman can drive, and she can drive equal to you. She can be as competent on the tracks as you are. And I could give them a run for the money. So there was a lot of, I would say, sniggering, comments. There would be talks to demotivate me. They would say, okay, we'll see. She's come here for one race. She'll lose, she'll get demotivated, and she'll go away. But unfortunately, nobody understood that that was my passion. That was what I had always dreamed from to become a rally driver. And that was from the age of 13. So I would just block those comments out and not bother about what the other people were saying about me. I've had instances where people have given me wrong advices. As I had entered motorsports new, I really didn't know the nuances. And I had to pick up the points from my competitors. I would overhear them, and try and imbibe those things in me. People who could see that I'm trying to understand what's going on, they would purposely say things so that I do something wrong. I make comments, I make mistakes, and I lose the race. But like they said, the people who tried to demotivate me, later on, there were a lot of them who came forward and they complimented me also, because I started being a good competition with them on the tracks. And I think that was one major factor in turning the tide towards my side, where people started accepting me as a part of motorsports. They started respecting my passion. They started understanding that it was something which was very deeply rooted in me. The whole premise is that I had faith in my dreams. I had faith in what I wanted to do. I believed in myself. And I lived with the idea that it is a never say, never die attitude you have to follow. And it is also where you have to ignore a lot of things which people say about you. You have to take it per day as a new challenge every day. So for me, today also, every race is a new challenge. I learn, I relearn, I unlearn. So there is always a constant learning which is going on for me in the tracks. I learn from my peers, I learn from my juniors. There are a lot of things where I have to still gain more knowledge about. I may be doing things, I may be setting records, but there is still a lot of things which are yet to be learned. As they say, learning never stops. So I think the whole idea is to keep improvising on your techniques, on your tactics, on your skills, and that's where it will take you forward. Yes, there will always be challenges, but then again, the people who face the challenges are the ones who actually do something more in their life. And I would say that racing makes me a much more confident person, and it brings the inner me out. I'm a totally changed person when I'm behind the wheels. So it's an extension of my personality. It is not just that Bani sitting behind the wheels. It is me with syncing myself, my vibrations with the vibrations of the car. And I talk to my car. Some people laugh at that. I do talk to my car. And that's how I tune myself to my next race. So when I'm on the track at the start line, I roll up the windows. I don't talk to anybody for half an hour before my race. And that's my pure form of meditation. And that's how I take my challenge. And the only thing which I see is the finish line and how fast I can reach that finish line. So what I would want to again emphasize on is that besides the challenges which one faces, I have tried to ensure that I do not give up on my passion of racing. I do not give up on that challenge which I threw to my father when I was 13. Racing has its challenges in terms of it is very emotionally, physically, mentally draining. It takes away a lot of effort. It takes away a lot of your money also, because to race, you really have to prepare your car, modify it, strengthen it. You also need to have a lot of safety equipment with you, including your rally equipments like your rally suits, your helmets, your shoes, safety equipments within the car. So there is a lot of money which is involved. There is a lot of effort which is involved. At times you do not do not have time to even eat food or even have a glass of milk or drink something. So these things are part of a sport, and I think every sports person goes through it. Like any challenging sport, this is also very challenging extreme sport. I follow the extreme format of rallying and racing. So it can be very strenuous at times. It is dangerous also. I've had instances where my gypsy has overturned and I was coming down a hill. So it's overturned and I'm lying upside down and we are at the corner of the hill. A slight movement, few centimeters here and there, and we could have gone rolling down the hill. So this is all part of the game. And you learn and accept it, and you learn to also deal with these kind of challenges. So I would just say that it's been overall a very, very motivating, self-inspiring journey for me, where I have progressed to develop myself and groom myself much further to become a more stronger sports person. I would also say that without this support, your own family support, there can be a lot of challenges. So here again, my children, my husband, my family has been an immense support to me, that I can go out. At days I'm not there for a week, 10 days. And there are no signals on the phone. And while you are racing or rallying, there is no way that you can be talking to somebody on the phone. So the phones are kept switched off, and there are places where there are no networks. So you are not in touch with your family. They don't know what's happening. You don't know what's happening. So these are also challenges which happen when you are racing or rallying, and especially when you are in areas where it's like the Himalayas or the desert, Rajasthan areas. So you are there, your navigator's there, and your machine is there, and that's about it. So that's how we race. We are in total wilderness where there is no intervention of humans or animals, because then it increases the chances of any kind of accidents. So we race in absolutely isolated tracks, which have been sanitized for having no other interventions in between. But again, having said that, I would say that I have been enjoying this sport thoroughly. It is a blossoming of my pure dream, which I had wanted to be. And I am so thankful to God that I have been blessed and been doing this sport for so many years now. Thank you.
You said many things which are really inspiring, and since we have heard you earlier as well, so we can have that kind of connect that you have with the sports and the kind of achievements that are there to your credit. You talked about the car modifications, because in this audience also the young people are also very fond of driving and all. Though obviously your driving, when you are taking it as a sports, and the driving which normally we all do, is definitely quite different. So you were talking about the modifications of the car. So can you tell us all as to what kind of modifications you need to do when you are preparing your car for the sports?
There are various formats of racing and rallying. So if I talk about a cross country or a WRC rally, we need to have FIA specification roll cages. We also need to have specific rally seats, which are there. We also need to have rally belts, which are 6-pointers. So you have them coming across your chest, and then they tie you up at the stomach. They come in between from the floor of the car, and there are different kinds of belts which you have. So you are actually glued to your seat. This is one of the specifications which are there for the car. There are a lot of specifications of engine which you can get done, or which are supposed to be done. So it also enhances the performance of the car. Like we can have oversized pistons, we can have a free flow exhaust. So these are some of the basic things. As you go deeper into the rallying formats, you can have more modification. There is also standard format to which extent you can do some modification to your engine. But primarily it is strengthening the car so that it can take that kind of rough beating or driving. And the car has to be strengthened from underneath also, because we are jumping when we are racing. The car takes huge jumps in high speeds. So the car should be able to sustain, the chassis should be able to sustain that kind of beating. So these are some basic modifications which we require. And we have, like I said, we have our rally suits, helmets, rally shoes. These are all fire retardant equipments which we have. In case of any fire incident, we are safe. These are basic things which we need to follow.
So mostly you use the Indian-made cars, or you have to import cars for your purpose?
Across the world, in the countries wherever people are doing racing or rallying, their local cars which are available in the country are used, and they are homologated to the federation, the international federation, so that whatever modifications need to be done, they are done in those specific cars only. So here in India, we use the Indian vehicles which are available, like a Volkswagen or a Maruti or a Mitsubishi. We do the modifications in these vehicles. These vehicles have been further homologated with the federations, international federations, FIA, and these can be then used in the rally circuit.
And what all is done for the safety, as you said just now, and we understand that there is always a risk involved, there might be an accident and all. So what kind of safety measures are normally taken to keep you safe?
So we have specific seats which are specifically designed for the rally purpose, and those are mandatory to be used. There are rally seat belts which are mandatorily to be used. They actually tie you so much tight to the seat that even two fingers cannot go between you and the belt. That is how tight we use the seat belts. We also have fire extinguishers. We have roll cages within our cabins of the cars. In the underbody, we have strengthened sheets which are there. So in case of any emergency, the car doesn't crumple, right? So these are some of the modifications and safety precautions which we take. We also have our helmets and rally gloves and shoes, which are again fire retardant. Besides that, we have our medical equipment which we carry in the vehicle, and SOS equipments which are there. So in case of emergencies, because if we are doing cross-country rallies, there would be stretches, long stretches where there is no help. So we have to be self-sufficient in those situations also. So all in all, we take care of ourselves when we are rallying.
Yeah. And we have seen, I mean, in your pictures, and there are a lot of logos, and I mean, the whole car is painted with different names and logos and all. This means the car manufacturing companies, or they might be funding the sports, or the other sponsors could be there, because you said that it's an expensive sports, and we understand this, that this is an expensive thing. But then as far as funding is concerned, whether these car manufacturing companies, they are providing you certain funds, or some support come from Government of India as well?
It's a very correct question which you've asked. There is actually no funding for motorsports in India as of now. There are few private players like JK Tires and MRF who have their teams, but it is limited to a few drivers only. So I would say about 95% of us, they spend our own money. And we rarely have sponsors who are sponsoring the drivers directly. They might be able to sponsor the event in terms that they help out the organizer. Let's say Red Bull comes and gives Red Bull cans, energy drinks to the participants. So they will put their logo on the car. Let's say Bisleri comes. They come and distribute water bottles. So they will put their their stickers or logos on our cars. So that's how. So they are basically sponsoring the event organizer, but not the the driver directly. So here it is a big lacuna, because the Government of India also does not sponsor. And as I said, it is a money gulping sport. So we are actually draining our own resources. So I would request whoever is there willing to sponsor, please come up.
But then if the Government of India does not recognize, or the Sports Authority of India, they do not have anything for this car sports.
No, so it is a recognized sport by the Government of India. It also, some of these state governments do sponsor the event or are co-sponsors in the event. But as far as sponsoring a driver is concerned, that does not happen. So sponsoring an event means that they will give you an area where you can go and make your tracks, and they will sanitize it for you. They can do some publicity for you on the social media. They might give you a stay in the hotel for 2 nights. Let's say a state government run hotel, and there they will give some stay options to the drivers and the organizing team. So that's the kind of sponsorship which we get. But frankly, if I need to prepare my car, I need heavy funding. I need deep pockets. So to prepare a good rally car, it could be starting. I'm not taking the cost of the car. Besides the cost of the car, preparing a rally good car would cost me anywhere between 25 lakhs to 1 CR, depending how much I want to prepare it and how much I am ready to spend on it. So the costing can be limitless. So everybody cannot do it. So we have to have our pros and cons are there in between what you want to do and how much you want to prepare, how much you want to spend. So we do that kind of requisitioning and then we prepare our car.
Yeah. One thing more. I mean, since we can see the room where you are sitting, so many medals and trophies are there. So when you are winning a race, are you getting only the medals or some cash prizes are also there?
Now, that's again a very tricky question. So mostly it is the trophies. Only the overall winners get some cash prize, but that is also not mandatory. It is on the discretion of the organizer whether he wants to give you a cash award or not. But primarily, it is just trophies and medals. So there is no hard and fast rule that you will get a cash prize or not. But you can take it as no, we don't get the cash prize.
Yeah, one thing more I want to know regarding your practice. How do you organize your practice sessions? As you said that when there is a sport, there is a competition, then obviously all the roads which are to be used are sanitized so that there is no humans or animals enter in that area. But when you practice, how do you get such kind of areas where you can practice without any hazards?
Practice sessions, we then hire a track. There are some tracks which are in Delhi NCR who do these kind of events. So we hire a track and do our practice sessions. So again, that is an additional cost because if you want to go and do some practice, you have to have areas which are secluded and there are tracks available to you. And there is also a service team which is available to you because when you're practicing, there are also chances that you will maybe break your car or you go too much into extra burdening your car. So you need to have support at that point of time. So we hire these tracks for a day or you hire for some duration in the day and you go and do practice. But otherwise, there are no areas where you can practice. So even the tracks are very limited. If we talk about the Bhuj circuit, you do not get to hire the main track because that's really out of the budget. So you maybe hire part of the outer side of the tracks where you can go and practice. So you have to have some kind of practice, but again, it is very limited and it is not cheap.
I heard that since you are so much passionate about this motor sports, whatever you are doing, so you should also be thinking about training the young people and particularly women, so that the kind of spirit that you have shown that is also carried forward by the new generation, and there is more and more people coming up to take part in this kind of sport. So have you decided to set up some academy or something like that for this training purpose?
So I have been training a lot of women drivers and they are currently in motorsports and a lot of them have been winning awards. One of my students also came second with me in the National Autocross Championship. So it is under the aegis of Motor Missy. As of now, I've been doing it as a social service to train and help more women to come into motorsports. Yes, I am thinking of opening a school, but the very idea is to get an area where you can build that kind of track. So within the city limits, that is very difficult to get a kind of area. And going out of the city limits also requires a lot of deliberations, because again, we need to have women to come in there, which is outside the city limit, and then they can come and practice. But yes, I am under the process of opening some kind of academy.
So you have carried forward the legacy of your father. So your son perhaps has also taken that legacy forward and doing the same thing which you have been doing so long.
Yes, so both my sons have been into motorsports. My younger son has been driving internationally, and he also represents Team India in the Asia Auto Gymkhana Championships. And he's been winning accolades internationally also. So I think it flows down in the genes. And we are a family of racers. Incidentally, my husband also used to race along with me. So we all four of us have been competitors on the fields, on the tracks with each other, and it is always a one-man upmanship with each other. And on the tracks, we don't recognize that you are my son, you my husband, I'm the mother. That doesn't happen. We are competitors, and that's the basic rule. But yes, they both my sons enjoy racing, and they have been doing it.
Yeah, I said that from here I am keeping this floor open to students, also to teachers, those who want to put up some query and ask something to you. So students, those who are interested, please come on camera, raise your hand and ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. So I have been more into the enthusiastic off-roading, and I've been doing a lot of off-roading with my friends. And the question basically here is that we have seen a lot of lifestyle trucks, coming into the Indian automotive market. And what kind of anticipation we can go for, because we have seen growth in US markets as well as in the European markets we have seen various products like Isuzu, D-Max, V-Cross, and Toyota Hilux, these kind of cars. So what kind of anticipation is there that will this kind of market and the automobile trucks will grow or not? What's your thought on that?
Sorry, if I do miss out something, it is because of not clarity of voice of what Madhav is asking. What I have understood is that what you're asking is in the off-roading segment, we have internationally Hilux and D-Max and all which are participating. And in India, we do not see that much. Off-roading as of now is not really part of the motorsport fraternity main sport. So it is not under the aegis of the FMSCI. But I'm sure going forward, we will be also doing that. As of now, the off-roading sport does not have so many takers, because you require a very specific format of that. We do have the Rainforest Challenge, which happens primarily in Goa every year, and where our top off-roaders really lead the race, and they have been winning this Rainforest Challenge. But having also said that, vehicles like D-Max or Hilux have very limited, I would say, market in India. It is a very, very niche crowd which we have. And I think it'll take a little more time for that kind of crowd to build and really come forward and have that kind of participation. But like I said earlier, also, it's an expensive sport. So very few people really take part in it. And out of that, if we are doing this kind of off-roading kind of format, then if we had 100 participants, the off-roaders would be maybe only 10. So there is a huge limitation there. But since motorsports is increasing by the day, we are having more people joining in. I'm sure this format will also pick up very soon. I hope, Madhav, I have answered your question rightly, because I was not very clear what I heard.
Yeah, you have answered it correctly. This was his question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, next we have Gauri. Gauri wants to ask a question.
Yeah, Gauri, ask your question.
Is that-
Greetings to everyone. So, ma'am, I want to ask that as we all know that you're a rally driver, so this was like you decided to become this. Was this your childhood dream, or there is some other story behind this?
Gauri. So this has been my childhood dream. I got I would say the love of speed when I was just 2 years old, because my father used to take me out on long rides on his motorcycle. And he had designed specially a seat on the carrier for me. He would buckle me up there in that seat and then take me for long drives. And that's where I think the speed got imbibed in me, and I wanted to enjoy speed. And at the age of 13, I wanted to be a rally driver because I had seen a Grand Prix happening in Paris. My father had taken the whole family there to Paris to see a Grand Prix. And I think that just stuck to me. So that is my, I would say, the most cherished dream which I'm living now today. So there is nothing more behind it. It's just a childhood dream.
Sir, next is Pragati. Pragati, you may ask a question, please.
Hello, ma'am. My question is, as a student, how do we ignore people who demotivate us, and how to stay motivated for our goals and dreams in this age in which there are many distractions around us?
See, Pragati, the most important thing is that you should have faith in yourself, in what you want to do. There is nothing which comes on a platter to you and says, here, now go do this. Here, we've given you this and you can go and do your progress in this. It always comes at a cost. The cost is your own satisfaction. Are you satisfied with what life is giving you, or you want to make something for yourself? Are you really, really looking to make a name for yourself, make a mark for yourself? Or you just want to live a life where people come and push you around, bulldoze you, and you are just living for the sake of living? That's not what one should be doing. I did not believe in that. One fact that I wanted people to bulldoze me with their negative thoughts. So I used to block whatever, mentally I would block their comments. You know, if I start listening to everybody, I'm not here to please everybody and their thought process. I'm here because I want to do something, because I strongly want to believe in my own self. And that's the crux of the whole idea, that if I can believe in myself, then I don't need anybody else to believe in me. I'm more than enough for myself. And I am my own inspiration. Why do I need to look out for some other person? We don't know the challenges which the other person has faced. My life is totally different from another person's life. So I have to deal with my challenges at my level. So I have to be my own inspiration. I have to be my own strength. I cannot allow other people to demotivate me and make me feel small because I do not fit into their thought process. If I had believed that, I would have never entered motorsports. Like I told you in the beginning, I'm married into a very orthodox family where they do not allow the women of the house to even sit and talk with the male members. But I had faith in my dreams. I had faith that I will make a change. The change which I have made in my own family is that I have opened the doors for the rest of the women to go out and achieve their own dreams. There are a lot of my own family women who are now school teachers, who are doing jobs. So I was able to push open that door because I thought that is what should happen. That is the right thing to do. And I had faith in what I was doing. So importantly, believe in yourself. Nobody else can do that for you. Only you have to make that change for yourselves.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming here and connecting with us. So, ma'am, as you have mentioned that it had been a difficult task for you to become a car rallyist, and you tried to manage all your family members, and surprisingly, your husband became your support system. So, ma'am, when you first entered in the field of motorsports, how did you face those challenges and overcome those difficulties? Because it must have been a difficult one.
Yes, Janelli, you are right. It has been a very, very difficult phase, and entering motorsports was not easy. Like I was discussing earlier, my husband had to take permission for me to go and do the first race. He has been my support system, and without a doubt, I could not have done it without him. But what I face on the tracks or what I face when I'm racing is entirely my lookout. Am I giving in to the people who are pulling me down, or I'm standing tall and making sure that I make the mark, I make the impact? So the idea again was that I wanted to prove not to anybody else, but to myself that I'm a good driver, because I had faith in my own skills. I believed that my driving skill is at par with the other drivers who are there as competitors. And every time I was willing to, I would say, improvise and learn and see what I can make a change and make my timing faster the next time I am on the tracks. There have been moments where I have lost race by nanoseconds, but that did not demotivate me. I have lost a national championship because of a nanosecond, because for that nanosecond I lost my concentration. So it cost me my championship, but then I did not give up. I said I will come back again and I will become a national champion again. So you have to keep reinventing yourself always. You have to block out the negative ideas or impacts which are affecting your mental peace. You have to also try and see what balance you want to strike. Do you want to always imbibe the negative things which are coming in, or you want to pick and choose from that negative, that this is something which this person has told me and I can improvise? Even if they are commenting on it, there might be something which I can do to make a new change in my own skill. So it is not always a negative impact. There are some positives also which are takeaways. So you need to learn to filter those. The day you can start doing that filtration, you will start to see the difference in your own patterns in your life, in the skills which you are trying to hone up. It could be in your sport, it could be in any activity, it could be in your studies, it could be at home, personal, professional, wherever. So idea is to keep improvising, keep learning, filter the negative things. And if you think that there is really nothing to learn, move on, walk away. You have to learn to do that. I do face the same competitors in every track, every rally or race, but that does not mean that I go back to them and start listening to their negative things. I keep my distance so that I am not emotionally, mentally drained by what they are saying to me.
Yeah, Dr. Bani, we find that in most of the sports, there are separate competitions for men and women, but it appears that that's not the case in motorsports.
In motorsports, it is the car does not know your gender. It is as simple as that. Nor does the track know your gender. So you have to be competing with each other. But we are also promoting women to come into motorsports. So we do have a category called ladies class to bring in fresh blood and for ladies to get motivated, because it can be a big put off that you come for the first race, you feel that I'm competing with the men and you lose interest and you go away. So we have the ladies category so that you come and experience the sport at least 3-4 times in different events, and then make a informed decision what you want to do. But at the end of the day, it is a competition which is level for both the male and the female, and that's where the skill is actually tested. So I stopped doing the ladies category only because I wanted to keep testing myself with my male competitors. So I have maintained that balance. I become a part of the ladies category by default because I am a woman. So I am part of the ladies category also. But if you see, most of my races are only with the male competitors.
Yeah. So, I mean, the session was really good in the sense that so many new things we could know by interacting with you, and the students and teachers would definitely be feeling that they have gained a lot from these sessions. And to to sum up as far as inspiration is concerned, because this whole session is for getting inspiration. So, I mean, there are so many inspirations that we all can get from you, because you, as you said, you open doors for other women in your family. And I would add that not only in your family, but in the outside world also, a lot of women would have got inspiration from you to do something in their life, whether it's in sports or in other spheres. So that's one really great thing that you have done for the sake of society. And whatever you have been doing, obviously, many more people will be joining the sports. And I personally believe that sports is one such thing, whatever kind of sports you are in, which can keep you moving, which can take you forward, and which is, as compared to all other spheres, which is full of all positive energy. And if more and more people are coming to sports, then the scenario in the country is bound to be changed. This is what I believe. And I'm really thankful to you that you agreed to spare so much time to interact with the students and teachers in DME Media School. I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ambrish. And thank you, Susmita and Manasvi, for having me over. And it was such a pleasure to interact with all the students and for your Facebook Live people who are listening and seeing this. And more power to your Vibrant India series. And Jai Hind.
The first impression that comes to our mind about any college: tall buildings, big classrooms, large lobby areas, thick books, IT labs, assignments, class tests, and projects. Nothing besides that. Every hour, minute, second spent here help us carving and shaping our persona, cultivating innovative mindsets for the challenging world. Learning is a lifelong process. Sharing knowledge, inculcating values of life, spark the innovative horizons of mind. Fun and frolic is the nature of every nook and corner here. A daily dose of thrill we are sure to get here.